Hey y'all, Riley here. Today I'm installing a hood-mounted solar panel from Lensun Solar. It's a flexible solar panel that mounts directly to the hood of our Ram 3500 and is specifically designed to the shape of our hood. This kit also includes the vinyl decal to mount the panel to, so you're not mounting directly to the paint of your vehicle, and the solar controller. So it's an all-in-one kit designed specifically for your vehicle, in our case, our Ram 3500. Let's get started. When installing a large vinyl decal like this, it's important to use soapy water on the surface that you're mounting to, as well as the back of the decal itself. This allows you to move the decal around, as you can see, and then you simply use the included squeegee to get all that soapy water out from behind the decal so that the adhesive can set properly. As you saw, I had a little help getting that vinyl decal centered, and overall it went pretty well, and the panel will cover any imperfections in that process. Now Lensun recommends waiting a full 48 hours to let the adhesive dry completely, so I will see you in 2 days. Alright y'all, so it hasn't quite been 48 hours, but the instructions specifically say to install the panel on a sunny day where the temperature is over 60, and we have a cold front rolling in tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get this thing done today so that it has time for that adhesive to set fully and we don't have issues with this thing coming off during inclement weather. So first things first, we're going to clean the panel with some alcohol wipes in the garage. So it's imperative to make sure that the back of this panel is entirely clean so that the adhesive will be as strong as possible. So we're going to use these little lens wipes. They're just like alcohol wipes. So if you have alcohol wipes, use those to clean off the entire backside of this panel. Then we're going to use our double-sided adhesive and lay it out on this panel before we put it on the hood. When organizing your adhesive, focus on the edges and especially the corners to prevent the wind from getting underneath the panel and lifting up on it. With the tape on the back of the solar panel, we want to wipe down the hood with alcohol wipes as well, and then test fit the panel and mark the corners with painter's tape to ensure that we are getting the panel centered and positioned exactly how we want it. With the panel positioned how we want it, we're going to take masking tape and create a hinge along the back of the panel so we can lift it up and peel off the adhesive. You really can't go overboard here, so just use as much masking tape as you want to create this hinge. Better safe than sorry. Because I want to do something after this project, I'm actually going to take this opportunity to tape the panel down all the way and move into the driveway a little bit more. So I'm just going to temporarily tape the front to keep it in place while I move the truck. Okay, with the truck moved and the masking tape on the front of the panel removed, we can use the hinge method to lift the panel, remove the backing off the adhesive, and adhere this to the truck for good. Then it's on to wiring this thing up to the battery. Hindsight being 20/20, a third person in front to ensure that we were laying it directly in the center would have been very helpful. Thanks to Hanna's assistance, we got the panel adhered down to the hood. Now we're going to stack some semi-heavy objects on top of it to help really compress that tape and make sure that this panel doesn't go anywhere. After that, we get to the wiring. All right, y'all, it's been 24 hours since we installed the solar panel to the hood, so I left that weight on there overnight and through most of today. Now it's time to run the pre-installed wires from the panel into the engine bay, connect it to the included solar controller since we got the kit, and wire it all up to the battery. Then we can download the app and monitor our charging, our battery status, etc. So let's do this thing. Here you can see the solar controller as well as the wiring that is coming out of it that we'll be using to connect it to the battery. All right, so I went ahead and wired it up just to make sure that the panel was bringing in power and delivering it to the battery. So I wired it up, downloaded the app, and checked to make sure that all the inputs and outputs were working correctly. Now I'm going to route all the wiring nice and clean using the provided zip ties and little adhesive squares for the zip ties to go to. Don't let the time lapse fool you. This was a tedious job, but clean wiring is worth the effort. So we're about wrapped up here. I've hooked up the controller to the battery and I'm now routing the wires. And to do that, I'm using these little doohickeys that came with the kit. Now these allow you to adhere little tabs anywhere you want along your wiring route, and then run zip ties through them to secure the wiring. So I've already installed a couple. I'm going to finish up, and then I'll show you the route that I use to get from the outside of the hood to the engine bay. To keep things as tidy as possible, I mounted the wiring underneath the hood instead of on top of it. Then I followed the washer fluid line into the engine bay. From there, I just had to find a good spot to mount the solar controller. With the wires ran, I'm going to mount the controller here to the fuse box using this industrial strength Velcro. So I adhered one side to the control module, and then I'm going to adhere the other side to the box and tuck all the wires down in here beside the battery, positive to positive, negative to negative, and then our controller setting. The other wires that you see in here, this one is for Bluetooth, so that's how we connect to the system and monitor the battery. And then the other two are for output. So if you have another load that you're powering via the solar panel, that's where this would go. I've just wrapped them in electrical tape and tucked them away because we're not going to be using them. All right, everything is working flawlessly. This will keep our battery topped off when we're running lights around camp, running our air compressor, adding a fridge, whatever we might do with this build, and the next iteration of it as we move into our camper full-time in 2025. This will help trickle charge the battery and keep it healthy. Catch you on the next one.